pulled into the service as chaplains.
Okay.
That left a gap. So, with people like my dad who had retired, they put them back to work
Okay.
as preachers, and he had three, I think, one, two, three churches that he serviced,
Mm-hmm.
and Mother would go with him sometimes. Little church outside of town called Lone Grove.
Okay. Outside of what town?
7 miles away from Ardmore.
Ardmore. Okay.
And he and Mother had gone to Lone Grove. Dad had bought an old, I believe it was an old Pontiac, big heavy car.
Mm-hmm.
And they were coming home at night, and he hit a cow. Well, of course, he didn't do the cow any good,
Uh-huh.
and it messed up the front of that car, so he had to get that fixed. And another one of the churches he serviced was called Springer, and it was about the same distance north of Ardmore.
Okay.
And while my dad was servicing that church, they decided they would like to have a better building.
Mm-hmm.
So they tore the old church down and saved the lumber as they could and built a nice brick church. And I even helped
Huh.
because they wanted to save the lumber, but they had nails in it. So I banged the nails out, took the nails out of it.
Do you remember the name of the church? Do you remember the name of the church?
Well, it's kind of weird. That town, its history was kind of weird. Gene Autry had bought a ranch out in that area, and the little town changed its name to Gene Autry.
Huh.
Well, Gene Autry finally sold the ranch, and they wouldn't allow the town to change the name back. So from there on, it was called Gene Autry.
That's
it
funny.
was quite a little church. Yeah.
How old was your father when he got married?
Well, my dad,
Mm-hmm.
he was married twice.
Oh, okay.
His first wife, I don't know how old she was or he was at that time, but they had 3 children.
Mm-hmm.
They had 2 boys and a girl. And she died, I think, of diphtheria or something.
Okay.
Well, later on, he met my mother, and they were married. And then the Great Depression came along, which is in the 20s or early 30s, and it just devastated the whole country.
Mm-hmm.
Families were split up every which way. In my very early 3 and 4 years old,
Mm-hmm.
spent with different families, get farmed out because of that depression.
Hmm.
And I guess I must have been rambunctious or something because I never seemed to stay with one family very long. I had one of the families I stayed with would be I called her Aunt Mary. And they had a neighbor who was a black family. And I came in for lunch, and I said, I would like to be black, like John or whatever his name was. And they said, well, why? Well, I won't have to wash my hands. So that was Mary. And Uncle Jack, he fell and broke a couple of ribs, so he was out. My dad, at one time, and I don't know the proper sequence of all of this, but he and I were staying in Hatfield, I think it was, in Arkansas. And Dad got a job as a carpenter. Dad was a good carpenter. He was a great carpenter.
Mm-hmm.
And he got a job. They were building a school. And I don't know if you know what a scaffold. You know what scaffolding is?
Scaffolding?
The wooden scaffold where you work on different levels.
Mm-hmm.
And Dad was up on the second level, and that scaffolding fell. It gave way some way, and my dad fell, and it broke my dad's back.
Oh.
And so we stayed in Hatfield for quite a while. In Hatfield, I met my grandfather, my father's father. And he was, all I remember was an old man with a beard. But he gave all the kids a penny each to buy chewing gum, bubble gum. Well, that was fine. But the trouble was, I swallowed mine. He wouldn't give me another penny. I had to do without. Those are the things I remember about my grandfather. My mother, at one time, had some mental problems. And she was, I don't know whether she put herself in or something, but there's a mental institution in Veneta. I don't know if you knew, but there is. And she spent some time in Veneta. Because my dad and I used to go and visit her, go see her. And I guess as far as I know, that mental institution is still there. I don't know.
You know, I think it might have closed.
It may be.
I've heard some people suggest that one of the reasons we have such an increase in homelessness in Tulsa is because several of the mental institutions that used to be in our area have been shut down, and there's just nowhere to treat people who are dealing with mental illnesses. And I think Veneta was one of the ones they mentioned that is no longer
it may be
there. Killing you.
The ones that are working in the kitchen, if you want, I can kind of show you about taking care of that trash can in there. I know it's getting full, and I can show you what we do with it when
Yeah, come.
kitchen.
You want to come show me?
You want to